Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card. I shared this one on my blog recently and I was asked if I could show how it was made, so that's what I'm going to be doing. 2 or 3 little changes I'm making. One is I adhered the stripy paper onto the very vanilla piece and then I embossed it, which wasn't a good idea because I have embossed onto DSP before, but on this particular pattern it didn't really work because I think you can see that there, the marks in the wood, it makes it look as if I've actually puckered up the paper. So on this one I did the embossing first and then I adhered the paper. It looks much nicer. And also on this one I wasn't very happy with how pale the colours were or are, so I've done it like this and I think this one looks much better. So I'm going to show you how I went from that to that. And then on the inside I was really indecisive, a bit embarrassed about this, but I'll show you anyway. That was one idea that I had, and I used red foil for the berries, but I wasn't impressed with that. Then I tried that and I was even less impressed with that. Put the two together and think, oh, keep the card closed. So on this one what I've done is I've put more of the stripes across there and I've copied that over. I haven't put the rhinestones because I never do on the inside of a card, but I must say I might think about putting the red foil circles like that on there, but I don't know, jury's out on that one at the moment. So I'm going to start off with telling you the pieces that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be doing this exactly as it is, and I do have sentiments for you on this one. So you will start off by needing a very vanilla card base which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inches, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. And then you need 2 pieces of garden green cardstock, and they should measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then 2 pieces of very vanilla cardstock, which measure 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.7 by 13.7. And then you need 2 pieces of designer series paper. If you're having a directional pattern, you need your designs this way. So this side down here measures 3 5/8, and this one across here is 3 3/4, because it's got to go across there. So if you remember, it's got to be the same width as this. And in centimetres, that is what did I say first? 3 3/4 across there, that's 9.7, and the 3 5/8 inches there is 9.4 centimetres. And then this one measures 1 1/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches, which is 3.5 centimetres by 9.7 centimetres. And then you need a scrap of very vanilla, because you need to do 20 parcels, assuming you're copying the same design, and also some garden green cardstock to do the branches. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start off with the stamping. So there's that for the Merry Christmas and that one. Let me show you the stamp sets I'm going to be using. Right, the Merry Christmas is going to be coming from Perfectly Plaid. And the parcels, the gifts, it's going to be that one there and that one. It's 2-step stamping, okay? I have done all of mine ahead of time, so I will just do one set of 3 for you to show you what I did with them. The Most Wonderful Time, that one has a set of dies with it, and that's the one that cuts out the 3 parcels, and it does cut them out individually like that, so we'll be using that as well. And we'll be using the beautiful Boughs, which comes as a bundle with the Peaceful Boughs stamp set, which I have here. Just show you that one. I'm not using the stamp set, but just to show you what it comes with. But I'm going to be using these here. I think you could possibly get away with just doing that one. I haven't tried it, but when you see how I've done it, you may decide that the one is enough. So there, that can go that side, don't need that, we'll be needing that. And the embossing folder I'm using is the Pinewood Planks, okay. Mine's a dynamic, but I do believe you can now get the 3D. 3D means it's the Stampin' Up's own die. Oh, by the way, I'm going to move that out of the way. My poppy is there because the day that I publish this video, which will be the 10th of November 2019, it will actually be Remembrance Sunday, and if I wear it you can't see that I'm wearing it, so I thought I'd leave it sitting there. Right, I'm going to start off with the Garden Green ink and my sentiment there, and all I need to do is try and stamp it in a straight line up here, because I'm going to be embossing after I've stamped. And if I don't get this very straight, I thought I'd done one earlier so that I could just, oh that's clever, isn't it? A best laid plan of men and mice. Oh well, let's just hope I don't need it then. I did one beforehand so that if I messed up now I don't have to redo it. Right, you can see that, can't you? It's good. Right, okay. That's pretty straight. Not perfect, but straight enough. Now to do the parcels, I used my Stampin'. No, I didn't. I used my Stamparatus, which I have to say I've been using an awful lot recently because I've just been making all my swaps for on stage next week, and for any large thing like that it's so easy to use this. These little things I have here I'm afraid aren't Stampin' Up, but they are absolutely brilliant for keeping your cardstock still. The other piece of very vanilla that you need is a piece that measures 1¼ inches by 4 inches, which is 3.5 by 10.5. Right, so let me just roughly cut this where this is 4 inches. Right, okay. Let's just assume that I measured that really carefully and it's absolutely spot on the right size. Right. Let's move. That's right, because I was going to just do this, wasn't I? So if you're going to do it this way, you need 4 of these pieces, because you need to do 2 that have got the gold parcels with the red ribbon, and then 2 that have got the red parcels with the gold ribbon. I am going to do the gold parcels, I think, with red. When I bought the Delicata Golden Glitz ink, I bought the refills to go with it, which unfortunately aren't available here in the UK. I believe there are some available in other markets, but not many. In fact, they may even be sold out by now. I am trying to get some ink into one of the little ink spots, but I don't know if you can see it's just sitting on there because it's such a thick ink. So that's obviously going to take longer for it to get down. In fact, this one here is the ribbons. So let's bring the other one back for the parcels. And I have to say, I haven't lined this up brilliantly, but it's not too much of a problem because I cut round the edges of mine. So, and the other thing I wanted to say is, if you don't want to go to all the bother of doing them like I'm doing, you can always, with the Most Wonderful Time Designer Series paper, they do have that sheet, so you could always cut that out, cut out the parcels that you wanted on there. I decided not to because I wanted the darker, more vibrant colours. In fact, let me just put this under here. I'll get a good inking on there. But the beauty of using the Stamparatus is, if it doesn't work first time, you can just keep going over it. Right, let's try that, see what happens. It's one in the middle, because it's been, it's like a 3D effect, if you like. There's quite a large area in the middle where it doesn't get very much colour on it. I think my ink pad is drying out. Let's give it a bit of a twist on there. In fact, I'm going to move that out of the way because I didn't use that when I was doing mine. And the reason I didn't use a magnet when I was doing mine is because I'd cut mine too short. That's better, it's going a lot closer now. The trouble is, where I've put my ribbon on here to pull it off easily, that's quite a thick knot there, and it does affect the way this goes down. Okay, now I can pull that quite easily, and I know that it's going to go back in the right position because I've got this corner thing here, and I think that's quite good. Let's just give it one more just to make sure. Oops, there we go, lovely and dark. You can see where it's got the light and dark bits in there. It's actually got a bit there that stays very vanilla. So if I take that one out, now I could have put this other one on the back, but I have 4 of these plates, so I make the most of them. Right, now with the real red, I've got one of these little ink spots, and they are very, very much easier to use. In fact, I'll tell you what else I've got here. I've taken some of my little daubers, pulled the sponge off and put a Velcro dot on it, so it's that much easier to use. If you want to know how I did that, and also the boxes, did I bring my boxes over? Yeah, let me just show you one of these. These are the boxes I keep my ink spots in. And I've got little divisions in there, like that, and a little place to keep my daubers. I've made a video showing how I made that, so I'll reference it in the box below the video. Now you can see with the red on the parcel there, the get out of the way, you bow has come right to the very top. But I'll show you why that's not a big issue. There we go. That lovely and dark. Okay, so that can be die cut. I need something to put in here to stop that closing. That's not going to work, is it? How about that? There we go. So I'm going to move that out of the way. I won't be needing that again. Let's move that one over as well. And that. I don't need that. Okay, let's take that off. And put that ink away. Right, so what we need is we need to die cut that, we need to emboss that, we need to do this for the branches, and I think that's all. So let me get my big shot up. I'm going to have to move that now. Because it's so little, I'm worried that I'm going to knock it flying. So let's get this here. Now, I am going to cut all three of these, and the reason I'm going to do all three is because what I don't use can be saved for other projects, and sometimes it is nice just to be able to go straight to my, say, garden green folder on this one and find that I've already got the branches already done. Okay, so let's see how we get on with this. Yes, that's good. And that one will fit in there. And that one in there. Okay. What did I just do with the top layer? There it is. I'll just bring it back again. Just pop that down for a moment. Now this, because it's a dynamic embossing folder, this one here, really nice thick one, it's best if you spray some water on it. You get a much better impression on it. But that ink, if you get that ink wet, that's going to run. So if you hold it with the back towards you and hold it at a good arm's length away, and then don't soak it, it will be fine. Now I can't do this in front of you, but you hear the t-t. In fact I might only do one, depends how good a shot I am. Oops. There we go. Yep, that's got it. I need to cut that one as well, don't I? So don't forget. Oh, right, because I'm using the dynamic, I need to change my plate. This is my magnetic plate, and what I need is to use the regular platform. So that, this is the front of my embossing folder, so this has got to go on the front like that. Just make sure that's nice and straight. I think that looks alright. And when you use one of the larger, mind you, it depends what machine you've got, but if you've got a big shot, certainly, I imagine the others as well, just make sure that you put your fold in first, and also you don't have anything hanging over the sides. If you've got a wider machine, then obviously it's not such a big issue for you. Okay, so there's that beautifully embossed. So that's the embossing finished. I'm doing this a little bit back to front, aren't I? Never mind, I'll get there. Right, so we're back to the magnetic, and die from the most wonderful times. Right. You will see that I will come off the edge of the bow. Right, let me just bring that down first. I do it so that I just about cover up the white on the bottom. Oops. Right, that looks about good. Looks about right. Possibly even going over there slightly. Yes, I'm even happier with that. Okay. Did it just jump there? I know I hit it. Right, careful. As I say, you'll need to do 2 sets of gold and 2 sets of the red if you want to copy my design. There we go. You see, you can see there that it was a bit too short. But no worries, we can get round that. Get round it by lining it up properly in the first place. Oh, you did it in the wrong place, like me. And the reason I'm only going to do one of these is because I now trim as much of the white off, or at least very vanilla off, that I can. Now, this is the easiest one to do, and this is the one that's gone straight across there with my bow. So I start off that one's already been cut off. Okay, so I am cutting off all the very vanilla. And when I get up to this bit, I'm just going to start turning earlier than I should and keep turning. And then nobody would ever know that I die cut that a bit short. As I say, if you don't have the patience for this, then you could die cut straight from the other one. This one's a bit more fiddly because it's got bits that are hanging over, but I don't try and get rid of all the very vanilla, just the bits on the outside. But you know, it's not too bad. This is one of those very few jobs that I don't come down hard on myself if I don't do it perfectly. My gold ink hasn't dried properly. It's coming off on my finger. Just take that in a little bit, bring it back out again. And then straight down. Okay, so that's that one. So if I bring these, oh, let me bring these close to you so you can see exactly what I have done. Okay. You can see that they've all got some very vanilla on them. That one's got lots, that's got a fair bit. And on these ones as well. But once it's all put together, it doesn't really notice that much. So let me just gather these up and save those to be sorted out later. And we've got to get these sorted out as well. There we go. I'll tidy that up later. And that. Where's the other die gone? Oh, there it is. So let's get these out. There we go. Right, so they do have a few little bits that need to be pushed out. one I think is okay, and that one's just got one little one that needs to come out. There we go. Right, now what we need to do, we need our trimmer just for one small job. We've got that, we've got that. On here, this is our piece that's going to go on the front of this one. And what you need to do is to slice it from here down to here. Now what I did to measure this, imagine I did this right at the beginning, I didn't know what kind of angle to do for this. So what I decided was I was going to use this and I was going to measure it by squares. So you see I lined that up with that line and that line across there. So that's nicely squared off there. And then I got myself a pencil and I counted down 7 squares. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I did another 7 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Obviously it wasn't quite straightforward this, I had to work out how many squares. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a bit. So that's almost like doing a third and a third and a third. And then I measured that one down to the bottom and that was 1 7/8. So you need to mark on this one 1 7/8. Let me just do that. Okay, let me just erase those pencil marks as well. So that's quite a good guideline for you for anything that you wanted to do as a slant on your card. There's lots of different designs that do require slanted lines, and that's the general rule that I use for myself. Okay, so now that I've measured down 1 7/8, so I'm going to cut from this corner down to there. Okay, so I'm lining the point up in the cutting track there and my 1 7/8 in the cutting track. Now if you're slightly out on this, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so there we go. Don't need that bit. And that is a bit which, if you like, I've done it so that it's like a staircase. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to adhere this onto this bit here. You can feel the bumps through here, but you can't see them. So I'll use Tombow for this. There we go. I've still got a pencil mark on here, but it's going to be covered up with the branches. Just pop that on to make sure you cover up all your very vanilla. And you shouldn't be able to see any on the back. There we go, that's good. Right, so I'm now going to do my branches. And as I haven't done it before, I'm going to try doing it with this piece. So let's get my scissors. I'm going to take my first branch. I'm going to snip that off. Make sure I've got it round the right way. And then I aim to get the bottom of the branch to come along my slanted line, like that. And I try not to see any of the line of the top of the paper there. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do that bit. And then I just keep on doing different bits like that. And this is why I like to take different branches off there, because you know it is going to look different. You may prefer to have something that's a bit more uniform looking, in which case you could do, say, 3 or 4 of the same branch. Let me just get rid of that little bubbly bit of glue. Just bring that on. Cover up the green line and then that. I've got a little bit over there, but that's okay, I can trim that off. So let's do another piece. Let's do that one. In fact, I'll do that. Oops, didn't do it. Yeah. Oh, it's joined there, that's why. Come on, let go. That's better. Let's do that one. And let's do that one. Right, so this one. Well, I'm going to take that one off. You probably only need about 4 pieces to do along here. See, I've got that coming overlapped there, so that's all right. There's a nice big one. Right, I'm going to cut that last bit off. Maybe, oops. Everyone is a bit different. And then I need one for there. Right, so I'm going to put that on there, let the end bit come over and then just trim it off. There we go. And that looks a little bit bald there. I wonder if I can just get another little piece in there. Or that one. No, it's too fat. Let's take the thinner one. There we go, that's better. Right, I'm not going to worry about doing any more. It's a bit like tying a bow. I could go on for ages, keep fiddling. So the next bit is to do the parcels. And I'm going, because I know these will fit on nicely like this, I'm going to stick with that design. Right, let's just trim these bits off. I'm not sure if that should be stuck on there. Oh yeah, I think it should be. Well, never mind, it's going. Right, so what did I have? I had one of these first and that one. So I'm going to do those two first on the outside. And the reason I do those two is because if it gets a bit tight in the middle, then it's going to be the centre gift that's on the top. If I find that I run out of space, then it'll be the centre one that's got a gap between on both sides. Again, whichever, it will look balanced. they look even. Obviously you can arrange yours ever way you like. Then what did I have? That one and that one. So let's do these. And the one in the middle is gold with this bit. And this one is just about fitting in. There is a slight gap there, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to put these layers together before I start putting my rhinestones on there. So we do that, and then this one. You need a fair amount of Tombow on this because it's an embossed surface, but it doesn't need to be drowned. Okay, now we can do this bit, and I'm going to adhere these bits on first just in case I've cut something to the wrong size and it's hanging off the edge. I can at least trim it. There we go. I have to say I have a lot more success now with my different layers lining up with each other. Since I use my trimmer for absolutely everything now, it's brilliant. In fact, I hardly ever use my guillotine at all, and that was always my go-to. Right, that's the order that I'm having them in. When I started doing the Stamparatus and with the gold, I had a gold ink spot from, I don't know if it was last year or the previous year, when we had, I think it was Encore, gold and silver inks, and I tried it, but oh my goodness, the difference in the golds to what we have now was quite amazing. This really is very, very gold, but the other one, it looked quite, well, almost grey. So this new one is much, much better. Right, there we go. Nearly done. That one goes over. It's obviously just the way I trim when I do these parcels. So let's, I don't need that one, that's this one. And then this is the one I'm working on. Yep. Pop this on the inside. Then all I need to do is add the red rhinestones. If you don't have red rhinestones, you could use red foil or red glimmer paper. I'm not sure what we have current at the moment. Except to say we don't have red foil, I know that. So there we go, that's that. I'm just going to add my red rhinestones. And I don't really count these. It really depends on how the pattern on the branches fall. One of mine had, I think it was 11 rhinestones. Another one had 13 or 14. Where do we want the last ones? Right, just one down here then. And then I put one in the centres of all my bows. Oh, there's one. I think maybe it looks like I ought to order a new packet of these. We've still got about 7 weeks for Christmas. Not long really, is it? Well, there we go. So that's today's card. So you can decide whether you like the darker or the lighter parcels if you're stamping them, or if you want to do the cutting from there. You could just do these and die cut them and leave them with the white bits on if you like, but whatever you like, it's all down to choices. I hope you've enjoyed today's project and I hope you give it a try. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any comments to make or any questions to ask, please leave them in the box below the video. You can access the box as long as you are watching the video on YouTube, and it depends on which device you're watching on. Laptops and PCs, underneath where you've got a little bit of writing, it says show more. So if you click that, it'll open up the box. If you're watching on something like maybe your mobile, on the right hand side there'll be down arrows. You need to click on that. Or at least it was last time I saw it. You know, the companies do change which way things are done. And I can't keep up with it all, I'm afraid, sorry. But it will all be in the box below. Also in the box below will be all the measurements, all the products that I've used, everything you need to know. There'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop if you'd like to place an order for any of these products that I've used. If you do place an order, please remember to use my November HOSTESS code, which is this one here. And then at the end of the month, or beginning of the next month rather, I can send you some free product as a thank you for being my customer. That's assuming you don't already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified next time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button down there in the right hand corner and then click on the bell, and that will mean that you'll be notified next time another video goes up. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.